Don't think it won't happen here. When the lights go out, the rule of law collapses in under 72 hours. That's not speculation. It's backed by FEMA's own urban disaster models. After Hurricane Katrina, looting began just 5 hours after the levees broke. In New York City's 1977 blackout, over 1,600 stores were looted in one night. And when it happens again, and it will, your neighbors, your coworkers, even your own family might turn on you to survive. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. The government won't save you. Police, outnumbered 100 to 1. Military, busy protecting infrastructure, not your front door. And in that vacuum, the looters move in, fast, desperate, and willing to do anything. Today, we're counting down the top 10 items that will vanish from your home first. Not because you gave them away, because someone took them. If you're not ready for this, you won't make it. Number 10. Pet food and animal supplies. You might not believe it at first, but one of the most looted, most raided, and most unexpectedly fought over categories in the early days of a real SHTF event is pet food. And not just because people are worried about their dogs or cats. No, it's because pet food is edible, technically. It's high-calorie, shelf-stable, and when all the store shelves are stripped bare of rice and beans, a 50-pound bag of Purina suddenly becomes worth more than its weight in silver. Don't laugh. In Argentina's 1998 financial crisis, dog food became a desperate fallback for the starving poor. In Venezuela's collapse, it was considered a protein reserve for children. In the U.S., you've got 66% of households owning at least one pet, and 45 million of those people say their animal is like a child to them. Do you really think they're going to sit back and watch Fluffy starve? People are going to break into your home, not just for your cans of beans, but for that Costco-sized bag of kibble you stashed in the garage. And here's what most folks forget. Pet food's not just for dogs and cats. It's bait. It's barter. And if you've got backyard chickens, rabbits, or goats, you're sitting on a mini agricultural gold mine, and someone will try to take it. Store that stuff like you would ammunition. Vacuum seal it if you can. Rotate it regularly. And above all, never keep it in an obvious place like the laundry room or garage. Hide it in bins marked seasonal decorations. Bury a few extra bags if you've got the property. Looters aren't dumb. They're desperate. And the moment they realize pet food can keep them alive when the ramen noodles are gone, it becomes a target. Mark my words. This isn't just about the dog bowl anymore. It's about survival food in disguise, and you better guard it like your life depends on it, because it just might. Number 9. Baby supplies and diapers. This is the one no one wants to talk about, but it's the one that sends people over the edge. You think grown men get dangerous when they're hungry? Wait until you see what a desperate mother will do when her baby hasn't had formula for 2 days straight. According to FEMA's post-disaster behavioral reports, baby items, formula, diapers, wipes, and infant medications are among the first things to disappear in the first 12 to 24 hours of a declared emergency. And let me tell you something bone-chilling. In major U.S. cities, pediatric hospitals reported parents trading everything from wedding rings to antibiotics just to get a single can of Similac during the 2022 formula shortage. That was during peacetime. Imagine what happens when supply lines are cut, we see cards stop working, and stores are on fire. Now remember this, over 3.6 million babies are born in the U.S. every single year. That's a massive population of extremely vulnerable humans and a larger population of panicked caretakers willing to do anything to keep them alive. If you're stocked up on diapers, formula, baby Tylenol, or even those little teething gels, you're a target. And don't think, oh, I don't have kids, so I'm good. No, you're not. That stash in your basement is now a black market fortune. People will trade firearms for baby wipes. Looters will raid homes with car seats out front. You must hide those supplies like you would cash. Better yet, decoy it. Leave one open pack in the kitchen, but hide the real stash in a fireproof container behind your water heater. And if you live near a school, daycare, or park, double the risk. Baby supplies don't just disappear, they ignite desperation. And in a SHTF event, Desperation is a far more deadly fuel than gasoline. Number 8. Cleaning and hygiene products. If you think looters are only coming for bullets and beans, you're living in a fantasy. When the systems break down, when there's no trash pickup, no water pressure, no functioning sewage, and diseases start crawling back into our daily lives, cleaning products become currency. Think bleach, soap, feminine hygiene, detergent, disinfectant wipes, even toilet paper. You remember 2020. A single roll of Charmin was going for $15 on the street. That wasn't looters. That was soccer moms. Now amplify that desperation by 10. When cholera is spreading from flooded basements and people start realizing that antibacterial anything is the new gold, your supply of Lysol is going to become a target. FEMA's disaster case studies from Louisiana and Florida show that sanitation failures kill just as many people as the initial disaster. Typhoid, dysentery, MRSA outbreaks, they all spike after the crisis hits. And when hospitals are closed and antibiotics are gone, people will turn to vinegar and bleach like it's medicine. But here's the kicker. Cleaning supplies are bulky, smell strong, and are almost always stored in obvious places. Under the kitchen sink, in the garage, or stacked in the hallway closet, which means they're easy to find and easy to grab. You need to rethink where you store these and diversify them. Put a few bottles of bleach in a waterproof bin in the crawl space. Vacuum seal feminine products and store them with your dry goods. Baby wipes, yes, again with the baby stuff, are worth more than ammo in a dirty world. If you think people won't stab each other over tampons during a full societal collapse, then you haven't studied enough history. Hygiene is survival. Filth is fatal. And in a grid-down America, the person with clean hands will outlive the one with a rifle and a staph infection. Number 7. Tools and hardware. Here's what nobody's thinking about until it's too late. When society crumbles, people suddenly remember that the real world doesn't come with maintenance men. No plumbers, no electricians, no Home Depot to grab a new wrench, and that's exactly why tools, hand tools, power tools, screwdrivers, crowbars, drills, hammers, bolt cutters will be prized loot the moment things fall apart. Why? Because without them, people can't board up windows, fix their shelters, siphon gas, break into buildings, or even cook over open flame without a tripod or stand. Let me be blunt. If you've got tools, you've got power. Not just literally, but economically. In Venezuela, tool sets were stolen from every state warehouse within the first 72 hours of collapse. In the Philippines, after Typhoon Haiyan, aid groups were attacked for distributing screwdrivers and hammers. In post-Katrina New Orleans, power drills were one of the most frequently stolen items from abandoned homes. That's not random, that's a survival calculus. Because tools walk independence. They let you fix, build, defend, and destroy. But here's the danger. Most people store their tools out in the open, in their garage, in the shed, on the back of a pickup truck. That's the first place looters look. You need to relocate them. Hide your essential tools in buckets marked paint supplies. Put them in an old cooler with a broken lid. Disguise the good stuff and bury duplicates if you can. You also need redundancy. 2 hammers, 2 sets of Allen wrenches, because one will get stolen, and when it's gone, you'll wish to God you had another. This isn't just about keeping the lights on, it's about making sure you don't lose the ability to fix a door, build a barricade, or open a locked gate that stands between you and your next meal. Tools aren't sexy, but in the real world collapse, they're everything. Number 6. Fuel. Gasoline, propane, butane, kerosene, and diesel. Now let's get something painfully clear. If you think your stash of gasoline in the garage is safe just because it's behind a padlock, you are dangerously naive. When the grid fails, when the refineries shut down, and when the pumps run dry, fuel becomes liquid gold. It doesn't matter what type: diesel for generators, propane for cooking, butane for lighters, even those tiny isobutane canisters for your camping stove. Gone, vanished, looted, Because once people realize they can't charge their phones, cook their food, or escape the city without it, the man holding a 5-gallon jerry can just become a walking bank. In the 2003 blackout that hit 50 million Americans, gas stations went dry in under 6 hours. In Hurricane Harvey, fuel thefts rose 300% in 3 days, with looters siphoning tanks, hijacking trucks, and even following fuel delivery routes like wolves tracking blood trails. But here's the worst part. Your neighbors already know who has fuel. You've probably shown them your backup generator during a BBQ. You've probably lent them a can of lawnmower gas at some point. And guess what? They remembered. Because humans are great at filing away useful information, especially when they're scared and hungry. The average American home has less than 2.5 gallons of fuel stored safely, but in rural prepper communities, that number jumps to 20 or even 50. That puts a target on your back the size of Texas. And let's be real here. Your government, they're coming for it too. FEMA literally has a fuel priority allocation system, which during national emergencies lets them legally seize private fuel reserves for critical infrastructure. That means your stash isn't just attractive to looters, it's on the radar of Uncle Sam. If you're smart, you've got decoy cans filled with dyed water. You've buried real reserves in steel drums treated with PRIG or Sta-Bil to keep it fresh. Maybe you even rotate them monthly. But if not, you better start now. Because when the lights go out and the highways jam with desperate evacuees and the smell of fire starts to roll in from a dozen directions, people are going to kill over a single match in a half-full tank. Number 5. Clothing and cold weather gear. Most people prepping in America are laser-focused on food, ammo, water. And that's fair. But if you've ever lived through a real winter blackout, if you've ever felt your bones ache from cold at 3 a.m. with no heat and no power, you know what I'm about to say. Insulated clothing, wool socks, gloves, boots, and outerwear are survival items. Not fashion, not comfort, survival. And guess what? Looters know this, and they're going to come for it, especially when winter hits and people realize their $22 hoodie from Target isn't cutting it in sub-zero wind chill. You think looters are only looking for food? Nah. They're raiding closets, opening drawers, looking for anything with a Carhartt tag, Gore-Tex lining, or 800 fill goose down. And here's something no one talks about. Tactical clothing is a status symbol now. Military-style boots, plate carrier pouches, rain-resistant pants with zippered cargo pockets. This stuff screams, I'm prepared. So if you've got it, and they don't, you're a walking mannequin for their next theft. In Bosnia, during the siege of Sarajevo, winter clothing was literally traded for food and ammunition. In Ukraine, looters targeted homes for coats and boots first because warm clothes meant range. You could escape, fight, forage, and survive longer. Most Americans don't realize how fast hypothermia can set in. Below 40 degree island with wet clothing, you're dead in under 3 hours. FEMA quietly acknowledged in 2021 that they had to quadruple their cold weather gear budget for climate-driven storm response. Translation? They know more is coming, and they're not telling you how bad it'll be. So if you've got wool blankets, sleeping bags rated to 20, or even a good set of base layers, hide them. Don't hang that bright orange North Face parka on the coat hook near the door. Don't store all your thermal socks in one basket. Diversify. Bury some in a trunk, stash others in a Ziploc bag behind drywall. Because when the temperature drops and the looters are cold, wet, and desperate, your closet is going to look like a sporting goods store with no cashier in sight. Number 4. Bicycles and non-motorized transportation. Here's the plot twist you didn't expect. Your bike is going to get stolen faster than your car. Why? Because when gas is gone, roads are blocked, and digital toll tracking systems turn highways into choke points, the only way to move fast, silently, and without trace is on 2 wheels. Or 1. Or 3. Doesn't matter. If it's got pedals, wheels, and no license plate, it's a prime looter target. This isn't a guess. This is data. During Hurricane Sandy, NYC bike thefts spiked by over 1,200% in 3 days. In the Bay Area, after the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, bikes were pulled straight off garage hooks in broad daylight because looters needed to cover ground and they weren't walking. In fact, FEMA and DHS have both published studies ranking bicycles as Tier 2 critical assets in community disaster response planning. Why? Because they work when everything else doesn't. No fuel, no batteries, just muscle. And that means you better not leave yours chained up outside your garage when the lights go out. Think you're smart with a U-lock? Doesn't matter. Bolt cutters can chew through those in under 6 seconds. Got an e-bike? Oh man, don't even get me started. Those things are going to be stolen so fast they might as well be labeled free loot. Not just because they're valuable, but because they can carry 300 pounds of supplies, run silently, and escape police faster than any vehicle short of a dirt bike. If you've got a bike trailer, panniers, extra tires, spare tubes, that's the equivalent of having a pack mule in a society that just went medieval overnight. People will break into your shed just to get a $50 Walmart fixie. And if yours is a $2,000 mountain rig with suspension and disc brakes, you better hide it like a nuclear code book. Take the pedals off, remove the front wheel and hide it separately. Store it inside, lock it to something heavy. Because the minute the fuel's gone and the roads are chaos, everyone's going to remember the one person on the block who still has wheels. And that person better be you. Number 3. Prescription glasses and vision aids. I bet you didn't see this one coming, literally, because for the 64% of American adults who wear some kind of vision correction, if your glasses break during a grid-down scenario, you are officially blind. I don't mean legally blind, I mean dead weight. You can't shoot straight, can't read maps, can't even tell if someone is friend or threat from 15 feet away. And here's the kicker. Glasses are almost impossible to replace during a collapse. Think about it. The eye doctor's office, looted. The lab that grinds lenses, offline. The supply chain for frames, completely shattered. Once things go dark, a pair of glasses becomes a one-of-one survival tool, and if you lose yours, good luck. So what happens when looters realize this? When they start breaking into homes not just for food, but for spares? And yes, this is already happening. After Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, hundreds of reports came in of vision aid thefts from clinics, pharmacies, even Red Cross tents. You think that's a coincidence? No. People were trading readers for insulin, selling sunglasses with prescription lenses for cash. And don't even get me started on contacts. If you think you're going to survive with a 90-day supply of dailies and no clean water to rinse your hands, you're living in Fantasyland. That box of AccuViews in your medicine cabinet is now currency. But here's the real shocker. Looters target seniors and people with medical tags first, because they know that vision aids are more likely to be in the house and more easily stolen. Most people store their glasses in predictable places. Nightstands, bathroom counters, drawers in the kitchen. You need to treat your backup glasses like you treat your firearm. Hidden, protected, and never in plain sight. Get a few prescription duplicates now. Zenni Optical sells them dirt cheap. Stick a pair in a Faraday bag inside your bug-out bag. Hide one in your car. Keep one in your EDC pouch. Because when the world collapses and the streets are filled with shadows and smoke and lies, the man who can still see is the man who survives. Number 2. Refrigerated medications and specialty drugs. Now we're entering truly dark territory. Not inconvenient, not dangerous. I'm talking life or death in under 48 hours, because when the power goes out and stays out, the clock starts ticking on refrigerated medications. Insulin, Humira, growth hormones, chemo drugs, epinephrine. And listen, there are more than 7 million Americans right now dependent on refrigerated meds to stay alive. 7 million. So when the refrigerators die and the pharmacy shutters for good, people are going to do whatever it takes to find those meds. Raid clinics. Break into nursing homes. Tear open first aid kits in emergency shelters. And if you've got even a single pin of insulin in your fridge, you just became their target. Let me be crystal clear. This already happened. during Hurricane Ida, hospital generators failed and diabetics died in their own homes because no one had insulin. During the 2021 Texas blackout, entire communities were canvassed for spare meds, and in at least 12 recorded cases, insulin thefts resulted in violent confrontations. Why? Because the black market for these meds explodes overnight. In Venezuela, a single vial of insulin reached $400 USD equivalent. In the U.S., even during normal times, insulin costs have tripled since 2002. So imagine what it's worth when every CVS is a burnt shell and the grid's been down for 3 weeks. And here's the most horrifying part. People will steal it even if they don't need it. Why? To trade it, to control others, to leverage your survival. This isn't just about looting, it's about power. If you've got refrigerated meds, you need to have a plan. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. Solar fridges, battery-powered coolers, insulated Yeti bags with rotation schedules. And for God's sake, don't keep it all in one place. Rotate stashes, use decoys, and tell no one. Because the second word gets out that you've got life-saving meds in your fridge, the looters won't come through your window. They'll knock politely, with a weapon in hand, and you'll hand it over. Or they'll take it off your corpse. Number 1. Gold, silver, and physical currency. This is the final boss, the holy grail, and the most targeted resource in a real-world collapse. Forget crypto. Forget debit cards. In a true SHTF scenario, the only thing that matters is what's in your hand. Tangible, valuable, untraceable, and that means gold, silver, and cash. Now don't roll your eyes. I'm not talking about some investment strategy. I'm talking about survival economics, because the moment banks lock their doors, ATMs run dry, and credit cards stop working, barter economy takes over. And guess what? The people holding metals and paper are the new elite. Let's break it down. Right now, the average American home has less than $180 in physical cash on hand, and maybe an old silver coin from Grandpa. That's it. But the real preppers? They've got gold eagles, junk silver, rolls of quarters from 1964. And guess what? Looters know it. They know you've been stockpiling coins. They know you've been watching silver prices. And they also know exactly where most people hide it. Under the bed, in the sock drawer, in the safe you bragged about in a Facebook post 3 years ago. Bad move. During the economic collapse in Greece, home invasions skyrocketed, targeting retirees who were known to hoard cash. In Argentina, gangs used dental x-rays to identify gold fillings before knocking out teeth. That's not a scare tactic. That's documented reality. Because when money dies, anything of value becomes loot. And metals survive. So what do? You rotate, you bury, you scatter. You don't keep it all in one safe. You hide some behind drywall. You vacuum seal some in a PVC tube and bury it under a fake water line. You tape a silver eagle to the back of your toilet tank. Diversify your stash like your life depends on it, because it does. Because when the looters come, and they will, they're not looking for your gold bars. They're looking for what you thought was hidden. And if they find it, that's not just your savings gone. That's your future, your trade power, your ability to buy food, water, mercy. Without it, you're just another broke survivor waiting to die. They're not coming next week. They're not coming tomorrow. They're already watching. When the collapse hits, the only question is, will you be ready or will you be looted? Don't wait. Don't talk. Act now. Subscribe. Stay dangerous. Stay silent. Stay alive.